Hello, this is Bailey. Today I will be explaining my final project. My final project was based on a mix of two games, Tetris and Tricky Towers. Basically the purpose of this is you will be receiving specific size blocks or rectangles and you will have to place them on top one another to create a tower, and if your block does not land correctly on the previous block before it, you will lose the game because your block will fall off. So here I just have my simple code. I started with having a world of a specific size and my different turtles. I went off one of our old assignments, the create multiple shapes, to help guide me through this project. Once I do that, I set my pen width so that we have a little bit of a thicker cube. I created a base block at the bottom, which is what this is. This is just so our playing blocks will have something to land on. And here you see we have our actual game here, just in our coding. And I did have a little bit of difficulties involving the if and for statements. I forgot how to incorporate two statements in an if statement. So here you see this says x is less than 300 or x is greater than 680. That was a little bit tricky for me. I just needed to remember the basics between using the lines and the to and symbols and just remembering how to do the basic parts we already know. So that's my code. Once we have that, we can actually start playing our game. So once we run and compile, we will have our world here. So we see our starting block here. And here it says enter the number 3. And our first 3 blocks are going to be the size 200 by 200. So I enter 3, we're going to enter an x coordinate. So we're going to want to place our block on this specific x coordinate. So the y coordinate is already planned out, but we're just going to do the x coordinate. So we're going to put 300, and then our first block. Then we're going to put, let's say, 510. And then we're going to put, let's say, 800. Oh, so see here how I lost the game because whatever block was going to be created would have fallen off and would have not landed correctly on here. So once we do that, we can just compile again and run. And we're going to have this over here. So we're going to start again, 3. So I know that the first 2 worked, so we're going to do 300, let's do 500, and then 700. Alright, now we've moved to the next layer, so we enter the number 3 again, and our next size blocks are 150 by 180, so they're not going to be squares, they're going to be rectangles. So let's put this one on to 90, so we have our first block. Let's put the next one on for 85. We have our second block, and then we're going to put the next one, let's do 690. Alright, we have our third block on. Now we enter the number 3 again, and our next 3 blocks are going to be 100 by 150. So again, rectangles. Let's enter the x coordinate. Let's do 350. Got our first block. Alright, now let's do 200. Oh, see here, I lost the game again because wherever the 200 coordinate is, my block would have fallen off. So now that we've done that, I can compile and run again. Move this over here. And we can play our game one last time in hopes to win the game. So now we're going to enter our 3. We're going to do the ones that we just did because we know those work. So 300, 500, 700. We're going to do 3 again. We're going to do our 290, our 485, and our 690. We're going to enter the number 3 again. We're going to do 325 this time. And then we're going to do 500. And then let's do 675. Alright, now we have enter the number 2, so we're going to have 2 blocks. And our next 2 blocks are going to be 75 by 145. So let's do 375. And let's do 650. Alright, we've done that. Now we have one more block to place. So we're going to enter the number 1, and our last block is 50 by 75. So we're going to enter. And our x coordinate, I'm going to put it on 525. And you see here, our block landed, and it tells us that we have won the game. And that's my final project. Thank you.